Whereas I think Zoom is not in that respect, or I have not used to the extent, I would say. So Team is a very flexible platform, and so that's my opinion. But uh, whatever you find is also okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of people had problems joining. I don't know. I was constantly getting messages. So it was,
Right.
yeah.
And I think at one point I had to end the call for myself. Did it disconnected everybody?
So call was ending because of the 1 hour limitation. There were so many things. So we don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, the version which I use, in which in which you will only get a ping. Suppose you have a team meeting only for half an hour. After half an hour, it will start telling you that this is overtime, but it will never disconnect anybody. So it's a, I think, paid version versus free version scenario also most likely the case, because these are all trivial trouble they will give you so that they can make money. Everybody's after money, right? So by hook or crook.
Correct. Okay, so what do we do? We can, what is everybody's consensus? Anybody? Should we just try Zoom? We can just do Zoom. Is that good?
Yeah, we can go with Zoom.
Okay. Okay. So, so now we are reading about the subterranean heavenly planets. My dear king, in the imitation heavens, known as Bila Svarga, so they are called Bila Svarga. There is actual Svarga and there is Bila Svarga. There is a great demon named Maya Danav, who is an expert artist and architect. He has constructed many brilliantly decorated cities. There are many wonderful houses, walls, gates, assembly houses, temples, yards, and temple compounds, as well as many hotels serving as residential quarters for foreigners. The houses for the leaders of these planets are constructed with the most valuable jewels, and they're always crowded with the living entities known as Nagas and Asuras, as well as many pigeons, parrots, and similar birds. All in all, these imitation heavenly cities are most beautifully situated and attractively decorated. So, Krishna's creation is so wonderful that even in the subterranean heavenly planets, there is so much opulence. Right? So, the
Seems
part,
like more opulence than here, what we have.
yeah, in the subterranean, Asuras have a lot of opulence. The parks and gardens in the artificial heavens surpass in beauty or those of upper heavenly planets. So, parks and gardens are much more beautiful. The trees on those gardens, embraced by creepers, bend with a heavy burden of twigs with fruits and flowers, and therefore they appear, extraordinarily beautiful. That beauty could attract anyone and make his mind fully blossom in the pleasure of sense gratification. There are many lakes and reservoirs with clear, transparent water, agitated by jumping fish and decorated with many flowers such as lilies, kovalayas, kalaras, and blue and red lotuses. Pairs of chakrawaks and many other water birds nest in lakes and always enjoy in a happy mood, making sweet, pleasing vibrations that are very satisfying and conducive to the enjoyment of the senses. It's a nice environment for sense gratification. Since there is no sunshine in those subterranean planets, time is not divided into days and nights, and consequently, fear produced by time does not exist. So there is no day and night. It's all the same light every time, right? So no day and night. Like in some places on Earth, you have 6 months continuous, right, or 3 months, something like that. Continuous day and continuous night, like that. I don't know if there is places like that, but there it is continuously. no sun. So you cannot say what time is it. Like time is not changing. Like our dates change based on the movement of the sun, earth. So there is no day and night. It's like time is there. You don't know what time is. Maybe they don't have a watch. Many great serpents reside there with the gems on their hoods, and the effulgence of these gems dissipates the darkness in all directions. So the like Krishna also says in the spiritual world, there is no need of sunlight or moonlight or electricity. What is the verse in the Bhagavad Gita? There's
न तद्भास्यते सूर्यं
no,
न शशाङ्क न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. The light is coming from Krishna's effulgence, Brahman effulgence, right? But here the light is coming from the gems on the hoods of the snakes.
but then we also know that there is day and night, right? There is Ashtakalya Leela and all these things. So there is night happening, there is day happening. So there is sun also, there is moon also rising. But I don't know how it is. Krishna is saying there is no need for any sunlight or moonlight. Maybe it is illuminated by the sun, or which light is it? Krishna's effulgence. Yeah.
Krishna's effulgence.
But that should be forever, right? Then it goes up and down, the light of Krishna's effulgence. Because there has to be night also, right? So polar caps has 6 months, days and nights. Okay, when we will go there, we'll find out.
Hmm. These lights are in the Bilaswarga are like the uh, nightclubs have these artificial lights.
And they are constantly on. So there is no day and night, right? So they are constantly on. Okay. Since the residents of these planets drink and bathe in juices and elixirs made from wonderful herbs. Oh, so they have herbal drinks there. And they are free from all anxieties and physical diseases. So they have Ayurveda, everything in the Bilaswarg. And they don't have any disease or anxiety. They have no experience of grey hair, wrinkles, or invalidity. Their bodily lusters do not fade. Their perspiration does not cause a bad smell. So need no deodorants required, and they are not troubled by fatigue or by lack of energy or enthusiasm due to old age. So they never get tired.
So is this in lower planet or higher planets?
Lower planets.
Surprisingly, because there should be more misery because people committing sins go down, right? So why would they get all these facilities? That's the case.
Yeah, I don't know. That's because there is hellish planets below the subterranean heavenly planets. But yeah, they are
Hmm.
opposed to the Lord, but still Lord is giving them. I don't know. That's the reason. Generally, we see Janma Ishware Shudra Shribi. These are gotten by pious karma. But
Yeah.
they may be doing pious karma, but they're not God conscious. I don't know.
How can they do pious karma and not be God conscious? Like they can do karma kand activities, like for the
Yeah,
demigods.
correct. Like they say, like in material nature, if you do anything pious activity, you'll get the result. Even you're not like Jarasandha also, right? He was thinking of giving charity to Brahmanas and things like that, but he was opposed to Krishna. So maybe Ravana also. I don't know how they are. They had Lanka, which was like golden Lanka, and there was so much prosperity in Lanka, right? So how he was not God conscious, but still maybe that is from maybe we can say from Brahma's boon or something like that. I don't know. Hiranyakashipu also a lot of prosperity, although he was opposed to Vishnu. So I'm not
One
sure.
thing I can think is, Prabhuji, that we have heard this, that demigods die to, well, not die, but aspire to come to this earthly planets, to come to go back to Godhead. So I'm just thinking this, and assuming, not anything sure, but there is this kind of opulence in this lower planets that you are reading right now, and heavenly planets. But I think the only ticket to go back to God is from this planet. Is that correct assumption?
So why subterranean? I'm trying to find out why subterranean heavenly planets are so opulent. Maybe uh, either Chaitanya Charan or somebody has written why they are opulent, and even those who are opposed to God consciousness. So it's a question. But there are many sinful people. They are living in a lot of opulence right here also. In the Western world, right? There are so many people who are eating meat every day. They are doing all sinful activities. But they have maybe past pious activities. That's why they are reaping the results of their. So I don't know why this.
Yeah, what caused my attention is no anxiety, because even having everything, people are suffering mentally, physically. That's when people usually try to when they're sad or depressed, take up to God consciousness. So if that's not the case, then I think it would be very difficult, right, for folks to come in Krishna consciousness. If they have
Yeah,
everything, no misery, no
but
anxiety.
this condition but this condition is also temporary. We don't know how long they live. All these planets are temporary.
Yeah, everybody
So
has to die. Yeah, everybody has to die, whether you're heavenly
yeah,
planets.
it may be a flash of a second that they are in such a situation.
The lifespan we don't, compared to Earth, the lifespan is how much we don't know. Heavenly planets we know, one day of demigods is 6 months on Earth. But in this, somewhere mentioned lifetime. So, of course, from Mahavishnu's point of view, it is just everything is a flash. Because this is just Brahma's point of view, it's all like,
Yeah, so it does not really matter that you enjoyed in this planet for so many thousands of years. Ultimately, I mean, you are going to go down or up and down, changing of situations. You don't even remember that you were enjoying at some point, but then you will be suffering at some point. So it doesn't, again, I mean, there's so many temptations. We should not even think that I want to go to a permanent place where there is eternal enjoyment with Krishna in the center.
yes, that should be the goal. But sometimes, we all like a temporary situation, but it is full of enjoyment, right? We want like nice, that's all. I mean, not generally people like that. Even life is temporary, but we want to create a nice situation for our happiness, right? So that's, even though everybody knows it's temporary, but we are trying, right? I mean, Brahma must be laughing at us. What these guys, only 100 years they are going to live, that also is not sure, but they are struggling so much to create a such a, like we may think about an ant, Brahma must be thinking like that of us. What is only small life, but they are struggling so much. So everybody likes, even in the small temporary situation. This is Maya. Maya's effect is like that. So even in the small temporary situation, we are trying to settle our things, and that's how this whole world is. Like people travel business class, right? It's a it's a small journey. Let's say 2 hours, three. Even in US, the people have money and they want to get comforts. They travel in business class, even 4 5 hours flight from here to California or like that. They want to. Everybody wants, even though it's a temporary journey, they want to be very well situated and well comfortable. So everybody wants happiness, even in the small flash of life. So
Yeah, that is what is preventing them from going to the spiritual world is because they are satisfied with the temporary enjoyment. Even they say that going to Vaikuntha also so many distractions come in the middle, right? And you can become distracted and
Yeah, you can take a
the
detour.
plane.
You can take a detour.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how it is. But they have no anxiety, and also because everything is nice, so there is no anxiety. There is no disease, but they will die. But they have no sense of death. Maybe it just ends. They are not. Their ignorance is bliss. Maybe so. It's not actually, but they feel like so you can enjoy in ignorance, right? Because you don't know what's coming up.
Yeah. Prabhupada said in the previous purport, Maya Sukha, this is all illusory enjoyment.
Yeah, it's like, death comes and then you don't remember anybody, right? With like, if you sleep and you wake up and you say, "Who are these people?" Right? Our mother, father, husband, wife. Who are these people? So it's like death is like that. You wake up and you say, "Who are these people around me?" And the past life people you have forgotten, the previous days people you have all forgotten. So it is very amazing, right? There's death. When death comes and you just wake up, everything is forgotten about your past life. All the people with whom you had 30, 40 years relationship, everything is gone. And you get some new people around you. So,
And going to such a plan, I was thinking like I was talking to some devotee there in Disneyland. So going on a vacation to such a place where you have to spend so much money and you be there and you're enjoying very much, but you have to come back. You can't stay there because it's just on on a vacation. It's not a permanent place. You have to come back, but you have to spend money. Means whatever these people have done pious activities. That is the money that has taken them to this Bila Swarga. But it's like a vacation for some time where you can enjoy, but you have to come back.
yeah, that's Krishna says, Shine Punya Martya Lokam Vishanti, when your Punya runs out. But yeah, the thing is that whether they have done Punya, that they are enjoying so much, that's I don't know. It's that they have done Punya. But everybody has, yeah, Punya's results get diminished as you enjoy. Punya gets diminished as you enjoy. And suffer, then Pap gets diminished. Pap. So, so this is like, yeah, our life is just going from one body to the next. We will not remember anybody in this life when next life finished. But we are forming our attachment so deep in this, and then suddenly it's forgotten. It's like that. We form
And
our
attachment is for our own sense enjoyment. We don't love anybody. It's because the other person is giving us enjoyment. Is we are together.
yeah, and father, mother, they love their children so that they want to do everything nice for their children. Of course, there's subtle gratification. There is gross and there is subtle gratification. Oh, this my children are in a very nice situation. I feel very happy because I have bodily relationship with the children, and then it's all finished. It's all forgotten in a moment as death comes. And like my mother used to say, after I go, what will happen to you? Am I there to see? I will not know. So it's like that. But this is the effect of Maya, right? So we think this situation is going to last forever, and we form all our, you know, we live as if we are going to live forever. And death comes and finished. Everything is finished. So even you have the nicest house and everything. So, but the attachment is strong. So because we worked very hard for it, it's our sweat and blood, the money, and And sometimes people say, now my children are settled, now I can die peacefully because now I've done all my duties. And my children are married and they have their children, now I can die peacefully. So that's also another kind of ignorance. Because after you go, then what will happen? Are you going to see what they get into an accident or what? Of course, we have to take care. I'm not saying that, but the thing is that we have to live as if we are going to depart from here. We have to live like that, as if we are going to depart soon. Then you can make spiritual advancement. Otherwise, we'll be in the illusion. So, yeah. But at that time, when you are enjoying, you feel like it's nice. So, it's very wonderful. So, like all these people in the subterranean heavenly planets, they are having herbal drinks and bathing in juices and elixirs made. They are drinking and bathing. They are freed from all anxieties and physical diseases. Sometimes we go to do detox, they do all this. They have no experience of gray hair, wrinkles, or invalidity. Yeah, I think we read this verse. Okay. They live very auspiciously and do not fear from death, from anything but death's established time, which is the effulgence of the Sudarshan Chakra of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the defect of material existence. Everything in the subterranean heavens is nicely, very nicely arranged. There are well situated residential quarters, there is a pleasing atmosphere, and there are no bodily inconveniences or mental anxieties. But nevertheless, those who live there have to take another birth according to karma. Persons whose minds are dull cannot understand this defect of a materialistic civilization, aiming at material comforts. Prabhupada is saying those who are less intelligent, they cannot understand the temporariness and how, according to karma, we are transmigrating from one place to another. One may make his living conditions very pleasing for the senses, but despite all favorable conditions, one must in due course of time meet death. So we may make very nice situation, nice garden around our house, nice beautiful house. We can decorate with so many photos and things like that, and make it. May have a nice, what do you call that, chandelier, and so many nice beautify our house and so many things. So Prabhupada says one make his living condition very pleasing for the senses, but despite all favorable conditions, one must in due course of time meet death. The members of a demonic civilization endeavor to make their living conditions very comfortable. Members of a demonic civilization endeavor to make their living conditions very comfortable. So they are trying to make their material situation very comfortable, which everybody is doing in this world, so that they can enjoy, but they cannot check death. The influence of Sudarshan Chakra will not allow their so-called material happiness to endure. Influence of Sudarshan Chakra, which is the time, will not allow their so-called material happiness to endure. So nothing lasts. So on that basis also, that everything is temporary, and one can take up Krishna consciousness. I mean, because you need time, right, to serve Krishna. So you can only get time when you are not, when you are disengaged from other things which you think are less important. Then you can get time to serve Krishna, to chant Hare Krishna, to read Srila Prabhupada's books. Because we think other things are very important. That's the obstacle, Sanat Kumar says. To spiritual life, the obstacle is to think that other things are more pleasing than serving Krishna. These things will give me more happiness than serving Krishna. So that's how we can waste our time. So because we don't find happiness in Krishna consciousness. That's one thing. And material happiness comes immediately, right? As soon as you gratify the senses of your body, you eat nice thing, or other ways you do sense gratification, then immediately there is happiness. So it's more like palatable. More we seek after shortcut happiness. That happiness immediately we get. As soon as you bring senses in contact with the sense objects, you get happiness. And so spiritual life doesn't give happiness immediately. So that's why we are more attracted to sense enjoyment.
But
Okay.
sense enjoyment and enjoying propensity delays to going back to Godhead, right? As in the lower planets, see, I think we said that there's four real problems: Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. So it seems like that there's only death and birth is there. There is no old age and no disease there.
Yeah.
But in the
Right.
earthly planet, it seems like this, they're all four. And it's also same says that, like, until unless, when sufferings, when old age, fear, these things are not there, it's not much inclined towards the spirituality,
Correct.
right? So that means that if you're living in the either lowerly planet or heavenly planet, they both delays to go back to Godhead.
Mm,
So until one does not come to the earthly planet, one cannot experience all four real problems.
mm,
And maybe any one of can be a starting point for starting the spirituality and going back to Godhead.
mm.
So,
Yeah. That's why we read so many prayers of demigods, how they want to take birth in the land of Bharatvarsha. So, yes, because you become addicted to sense enjoyment, then you want to experience it again and again, and that keeps you bound in the cycle of birth and death. Because, like, it's like something that you got happiness from. Now you want to do it again and again, right? You want to experience that happiness again and again. So that's how one becomes addicted to the material enjoyment. Okay. So same thing with spiritual life, right? If you chanted Hare Krishna and you felt happiness, you want to chant. Yeah, it's nice. This morning japa is nice because you get some happiness. Then you say, oh yeah. Of course, at our level, we may get happiness sometimes. We may not get, but something is there. So intellectually, we sustain our bhakti, and the great souls they sustain by taste. They have intellectual conviction, of course, but they have got taste. So they are. But at our level, we may sometimes get taste, and sometimes it's intellectual conviction. But material enjoyment, always there is taste, right? As soon as you gratify your senses, then taste is there. Immediately you get taste. Yat taddagre amritopamam pariname vishamiva. Na vishyandri samyogad yat taddagre amritopamam. Vishyandri. What is that?
Parinama Krishyamiva Tat Sukham Rajasam Smritam.
Krishna is saying that. Yeah. In the beginning, it's very. But these people, I mean, they are enjoying so much that there is no old age. It's like for their whole life they are enjoying. And then death is there, which maybe happens in a moment because there is no prolonged old age, no disease like that. So immediately you die. So it's not very bad, we will say, right? Immediately if you die, then some less suffering. Of course, sometimes people die in sleep like that. They say it's nice death. You just died in sleep. There was no prolonged suffering. And you enjoyed your life for your whole. But then karma kicks in, and then next life where you go, as Prabhupada says here in this.
And you couldn't prepare for your death. Like you didn't have the proper consciousness, so you will go according to your karma. So I had one relative here who was living a life like this, and very much enjoying spirit, and they were rich, but they were also cheating in business and also my parents would say, see how they're enjoying so much. And one day we get to know that he was shot dead. The person, he was shot dead and immediately died. So on the whole life they are enjoying, but at the last moment the death is like this. So what's the point?
Sometimes people say like that, right? Why are you thinking about death? Because 70 years you lived, you live your life, enjoy. Maybe death will be 2, 3 years at the end, something will happen. So why for 2, 3 years? Why are you not uh, enjoying for 70 years? So they will say like that. Also, I've heard. Yeah. Okay.
Actually, everybody has a different definition of enjoying, right?
Correct.
It says that, like, somebody is not, they think like that if I have a lot of money, then I can only enjoy. If I have this, then I can. Somebody is they have a like limited money or they can able to fulfill their basic needs and they are happy. They are enjoying.
Yeah.
Devotees are not happy. They don't possess any material prosperity, but they are more than happy. I mean, they are
Mm.
actually experiencing a real happiness,
Yeah.
right? So
Different.
happiness is different definition. Sorry, bro.
No, no, I'm saying different people in different modes will, for their happiness is different, right? Krishna says, yeah. So for, if, depending on the mode of nature you are in, according to that, you'll find happiness in certain things. So, like they say, crows go to the garbage place and they find a lot of happiness there. But the swans, they feel this is, even with food, right? Like meat, we will say, oh my God, we cannot even look at this. And for others who are in mode of ignorance, it's a great happiness. So everything is based on the modes of nature you are in. And so, like Yamunacharya says, right, the sense gratification is so disgusting. I got so much higher taste because he has come to that platform of Krishna consciousness. He has experienced so much taste. He says, the sense gratification is so bad, I just spit at the thought. And those who are in mode of passion, for them, this is a great enjoyment, right? This is the great enjoyment. And so, everybody's enjoyment is like different depending on the modes of nature they are situated in. Okay.
It is
And
the same as
99% of
association
the
also, right?
Hmm?
Go ahead, Mati.
no, I was saying 99% of the people are in mode of passion.
Hmm.
With these type of enjoyment everybody likes, but even Yamunacharya was in that mode of passion. Ultimately he became frustrated, same as Yayati and so many other, but over many lifetimes, bahunam janmanamante.
He became
Somebody
frustrated,
says,
but he also got higher taste, right? He got higher taste. He
yeah,
says,
yeah,
Nava
correct.
Navarasa Kamni. Yeah, he says, I am getting higher taste. So that's when you actually can give up lower taste. Because frustrated, everybody can become, right? I mean, one sense, yeah. But the addiction is so strong that you are may be prompted to do again and again the same enjoyment, right? So,
Yeah, I mean frustration is the starting point.
correct.
This who was that? That was after Pururava that has written the Aila Geet. She
No,
was he was after him. Was it? Mm.
Purura was the
Uh,
king. Yeah.
Pururava, yeah. Pururava, yeah. He was after that girl so much. He was wanting to enjoy her but couldn't get her. So finally he became frustrated and he has that Aila Geet. So, and these hippies, they were also frustrated. They couldn't get the happiness. So when Prabhupada came, they wanted to try and they get the higher taste. So it's the starting point.
Like in my young days, there was a jackal, and then there were grapes on the, I think, right, on the tree, and he was trying to reach those grapes, but the grapes he could not reach. Jackal or whatever. Jackals eat grapes. I don't know if jackal eats grapes, but then
Mhm. Yeah.
then the jackal said, "Oh, the grapes are sour."
Mhm.
So he was frustrated in his attempt to get. So we say with material desires, things can happen, right? If you want something, you don't get it, then you become frustrated. So So that's
Yeah,
also.
as Bikesha Swami was saying that there are four things happening in material happiness. Either you won't get it, or you get it, but you won't find happiness in it. Or
Hmm.
if you get it, you find happiness, it's temporary
Hmm.
and it will go away. So ultimately, it leads to the frustration.
Yeah. But not everybody like immediately becomes frustrated. People are enjoying, and they feel very nice about their enjoyment, so they don't get frustrated, right? So a whole lifetime can go, whole lifetime can go like that,
Mm. Multiple lifetimes.
multiple
After
Yeah,
lifetime.
these
multiple
days social media is fanning that, Bas- how we are fanning the spark in like spiritual life, but social media is fanning that, like all the material enjoyment. People try to see others are happy and all that, and try to mimic that, thinking that they will find the same happiness, but doesn't have to be the case.
Yeah, if I go on vacation, then I have to put it on Facebook, right? Because otherwise, how will I get happiness? Because everybody has to see that I went on vacation and I enjoyed like this. And that's how desires get created, right? Then, oh, then you also put something on Facebook. Or I look so nice, so I have to put my picture on the Facebook so others will appreciate me. That was one reason Arjuna said, if I fight and I win the kingdom, but all my relatives will die, then who will be there to praise me, right? Like, or appreciate me. So, like in India, if you have a car in those days, early days, everybody will say, oh, he has a car, it's car. You come to America, everybody has a car, then you're not the, you're not like anything special. So everybody wants to become special and get some appreciation or something that is also there. And we want to like show off to other people how much we are enjoying materially. So then that's how we get also desire. Oh, he's enjoying materially, so he's enjoying so much, so I should also. Like movies are based on this principle, right? The heroine are there and they are enjoying, they are so much enjoyment, and people go to see that, and then in their heart they get the desire. Oh, they are enjoying. Maybe if I also get a nice, uh, you know, girlfriend or boyfriend, I will also enjoy like they are enjoying. So this creates the desire in our heart. But you look at their life, are they really enjoying? It's an acting. They are doing an acting, and maybe they are not enjoying. They are just doing it for money. But from outside, it looks like oh, they are enjoying very much. So so like that. Of course, there is some enjoyment. Obviously, in material enjoyment, there is some enjoyment. That's why people are after it. We are after all these things because there is some enjoyment. Definitely, when you eat nice things and tasty things, you get some enjoyment. And in sex life, there is some enjoyment. The people are after this. Everybody is after this in this material world. There is some enjoyment, so people are after this. But for that enjoyment, you have to set up a nice. You have to make your situation very nice, and you have to work very hard for your sense gratification. You have to get your job, and then all this is to get married, right? To get that enjoyment, you have to like generally, I mean, speak people. Of course, you may want to help people, and you may become a doctor or something. But generally, people want to like Keshav Maharaj was saying that his parents were saying, first you get degree, then you get nokri, and then you get degree, nokri, and
Chokri.
chokri. Like that says he said this is our path, right? Degree, nokri, and chokri. Chokri means girl. So this is our path. Ultimately, it is to get that girl and then enjoy with that girl or whatever like that. So he says, degree, he said, I already finished my education in wherever, some university. Nokri, he says, I have Nokri, I'm serving Krishna. Then they asked him, but you are serving Krishna, what is your salary? How much they are paying you? He said, I don't know about my salary, but the retirement plan is out of this world. So he says, so like that he was saying. But this is general path, right? So this is how everybody, because that is the main attraction, main enjoyment in this world. So everything revolves around that. And then you have your children also go through the same path, like that. Of course, it can all be done in a Krishna conscious way, and it can be a grihastha ashram and like that. But yeah, so so that's why you have to work very hard to set up a situation, and the world says this is success. So we think yes, this is success. When I got a nice job, they don't say, the world doesn't say that if you make spiritual advancement, if you become out of the bodily conception of life, if you have no material desires, that is success of life. If you have love for Krishna, that is success. They will never say like that. So everybody around us views success in terms of, in Satya Yuga it was not like that. When they would meet, they would say, how is your spiritual advancement going on? How is your japa? How are you becoming free from material desires? Are you developing an affinity for Krishna, for serving Krishna, like that? So that's what they would talk as we hear. I don't know, but they say in Satya Yuga spirituality was very prevalent. Everybody was in spiritual. But now in Kali Yuga, it's not like that. Everybody views success in a different way. Success is more about how much money you have made and how beautiful you look. And if you can support a family, you are considered an expert, and all these things. If you have a nice house, then you are successful. And then people say, what is his net worth? Net worth means what is the number attached to his name? Jeff Bezos, what is his net worth? Oh, he's so much billions of dollars. So this is how we value people based on how much money they have made and like that. So this is a culture. So so that's why we are also sucked into this culture. Uh, so we don't think detachment and all these things from material desires and getting out of the bodily conception of life. This is the success of life. So anyhow, so it's a different culture. And as you were saying, social media enhances this misconception. So when the Sudarshan disk enters those provinces, the pregnant wives of the demons all have miscarriages due to fear of its effulgence. So Sudarshan disk also comes there, and the pregnant wives, they suffer miscarriages. Okay. My dear king, now I shall describe you to the lower planetary systems one by one, beginning from Atal. In Atal, there is a demon, the son of Mayadanav, named Bala. So there is Mayadanav and his son, who created 96 kinds of mystic power. Some so called yogis and swamis take advantage of this mystic power to cheat people even today. So there are a lot of people who have mystic powers and they cheat people. Simply by yawning, the demon Bala created three kinds of women known as Svairini, Kamini, and Pumschali. The Swairinis like to marry men from their own group. The Kaminis marry men from any group. And the Pumshalis change husbands one after another. If a man enters the planet of Atal, these women immediately capture him and induce him to drink an intoxicating beverage made with a drug known as Hatak. So if any man goes into this Atal planet, then the women there give him an intoxicating drink, cannabis indica. This intoxicant endows the man with great sexual prowess, of which the women take advantage for enjoyment. A woman will enchant him with attractive glances, intimate words, smiles of love, and then embraces. In this way, she induces him to enjoy sex with her to her full satisfaction. Because of his increased sexual power, the man thinks himself stronger than 10,000 elephants and considers himself most perfect. Indeed, illusioned and intoxicated by false pride, he thinks himself God, ignoring impending death. Okay, so this is a big verse. It's a prose. So Shukdev Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj all these things. Okay, so the next verse. The next planet below Atal is Vital. So below Earth is Atal, then Vital, the next planet, wherein Lord Shiva, who is known as the master of gold mines, lives with his personal associates, the ghosts and similar living entities. Lord Shiva is a progenitor, engages in sex with Bhavani, the progenitress, to produce living entities, and from the mixture of their vital fluid, the river named Hataki is generated. When fire being made to blaze by the wind, when fire being made to blaze by the wind drinks of this river and then sizzles and spits it out, it produces gold called Hatak. The demons who live on that planet with their wives decorate themselves with various ornaments made from that gold, and thus they live there very happily. It's unbelievable how all these things are. It appears that when Bhava and Bhavani, Lord Shiva and his wife, unite sexually, the emulsification of their secretions creates a chemical which, when heated by fire, can produce gold. It is said that the alchemists of medieval age tried to prepare gold from base metal. And Srila Sanatana Goswami also states that when bell metal is treated with mercury, it can produce gold. Srila Sanatana Goswami mentions this in regard to initiation of low-class men to turn them into brahmanas. Sanatana Goswami said, Yatha kanchanat Yatha kanchanatam yat yati kamsyam rasa vidhanatah tatha diksha vidhanena vijitvam jayate nirnam. As one can transform or bell metal into gold by treating it with mercury. What is this metal? Bell metal is which? What do we say in Hindi?
It's a cans.
Can.
It's like a mix of copper or something, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Pittal. We have pittal and tambu. Right? We say tambu, pittal, and then maybe there is another word in Gujarati. Or bell metal into gold by treating it with mercury, one can turn into a low-born man into a brahmana by initiating properly into Vaishnava activities. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness is trying to turn Malechas and Yavanas into real brahmanas by properly initiating them and stopping them from engaging in meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex, and gambling. One who stops these four principles of sinful activity and chants the Hare Krishna mantra can certainly become a pure brahmana, though through the process of bona fide initiation as suggested by Srila Sanatana Goswami. Apart from this, if one takes the hint from this verse and learns how to mix mercury with bell metal by properly heating and melting them, one can get gold very cheaply. So we can become very rich if we know how to make gold. The alchemists of this medieval age tried to manufacture gold, but they were unsuccessful, perhaps because they did not follow the right instructions. Okay. So Atal is where all the women are, and they induce you to take a drink, induce the men to take a drink like that, and then they engage in sense gratification. And then Vital is where Lord Shiva lives with Bhavani, and he has union with her, and then that from that fluid produces that river Hataki, and from there gold is produced. So, and the demons make ornaments from gold and live very happily. Okay. Now,
Isn't there Lord Shiva? Parvati lives in Kailash, right?
yeah, there are different Rudras. They say there are 11 Rudras in this material world. There are different Rudras, so I don't know all these details, how in different planets maybe there are expansions. Okay. Below the planet Vital is another planet known as Sutal, where the great son of Maharaj Virochan, Bali Maharaj, who is celebrated. So Atal, Sutal, Vital. No, Atal, Vital, Sutal, who is celebrated as the most pious king, resides even now. For the welfare of Indra, the king of heaven, Lord Vishnu appeared in the form of a dwarf brahmachari as the son of Aditi and tricked Bali Maharaj by begging only for 3 pieces of land, but by taking all the 3 worlds. Being very pleased with Bali Maharaj for giving all his possessions, the Lord returned his kingdom and made him richer than the opulent King Indra. So Sutal is more opulent than Indra's. Even now, Bali Maharaj engages in devotional service by worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the planet of Sutal. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is described as Uttama Shloka, he who is worshipped by the best of selected Sanskrit verses. The verses that glorify Krishna are the best, and the best verses that glorify Krishna. So both ways, Uttama Shloka. And his devotees, such as Bali Maharaj, are also worshipped by Punya Shloka, verses that increase one's piety. Bali Maharaj offered everything to the Lord, his wealth, his kingdom, and even his own body. Sarvatma Nivedane Balihi. The Lord appeared before Bali Maharaj as a Brahman beggar, and Bali Maharaj gave him everything he had. However, Bali Maharaj did not become poor. By donating all his possessions to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he became a successful devotee and got everything back again with the blessings of the Lord. Similarly, those who give contributions to expand the activities of Krishna consciousness movement and to accomplish its objectives will never be losers. They will get their wealth back with the blessings of Lord Krishna. So if we give for Krishna's purpose, Krishna's service, then we will get our wealth back. So, on the other hand, those who collect contributions on behalf of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness should be very careful not to use even a farthing of collection for any purpose other than the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So money should not be collected, used for one's own sense gratification. So, yeah. Sometimes devotees collect money and then if you don't use it for Krishna's service, but instead live luxuriously at the cost of the collection of other, then it's not good. So Prabhupada is saying every farthing that is collected should be used for the service of the Lord. One should live simply and use everything for worshipping the Lord and spreading Krishna consciousness. So, okay. Okay, so we are at 1 hour since we started, so we'll stop with this. We can hear or see something else. Okay. We can hear one class I was hearing. I didn't finish it, but I can hear with you. This is by Bhaktivinoda Swami. He gave in his Coimbatore. So let's see, let me find this.
It's the latest thing up there. Americans.
This is about Bali Maharaj, not Bali Maharaj, Indra, when Brihaspati, he came there and Indra was so absorbed in his enjoyment that he didn't realize that Brihaspati has come and he didn't offer respect. And then Brihaspati left and then Indra was lamenting. So this is the verse.
And polluted by false ego. Under I was proud of a little opulence and polluted by false, carried to Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation: although I am king of the demigods, who are situated in the mode of goodness, I was proud of a little opulence and polluted by false ego. Under the circumstances, who in this world would accept such riches at the risk of falling down? Alas, I condemn my wealth and opulence. Please repeat. Although I am king of the demigods, who are situated in the mode of goodness, I was proud of a little opulence and polluted by false ego under the circumstances. Who in this world would accept such riches at the risk of falling down? Alas, I condemn my wealth and opulence. Purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prayed to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. O my Lord, I do not aspire for material opulence or wealth, nor do I want a great number of followers to accept me as their leader, nor do I want a very beautiful wife to please me. Mama janmani janmanishware bhavatat bhakti rahituki tvayi. I do not even want liberation. All I want life after life is to be faithful servant of your Lordship. According to the laws of nature, when one is extremely opulent, one becomes degraded, and this is true both individually and collectively. The demigods are situated in the mode of goodness, but sometimes even one who is situated in such an exalted position as King Indra, the king of all the demigods, falls down because of material opulence. We are now actually seeing this in America. The entire American nation has tried to advance in material opulence without striving to produce ideal human beings. The result is that Americans are now regretting the wholesale criminality of American society and are wondering how America has become so lawless and unmanageable. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.31, Nate viduhu swartha gatimihi vishnum. Persons who are unenlightened do not know the aim of life, which is to return home back to Godhead. Therefore, both individually and collectively, they try to enjoy so-called material comforts, and they become addicted to wine and women. The men produced in such a society are less than fourth class. They are unwanted population known as Varnashankara. And as stated in Bhagavad Gita, an increase of Varnashankara population creates a hellish society. This is the society in which Americans now find themselves. Fortunately, however, the Hare Krishna movement has come to America, and many fortunate young men are giving serious attention to this movement, which is creating ideal men of first-class character, men who completely refrain from meat-eating, illicit sex, intoxication, and gambling. If the American people are serious about curbing the degraded criminal life of their nation, they must take to the Krishna consciousness movement and try to create the kind of human society advised in Bhagavad Gita, Chatur Varnyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. They must divide their society into first-class men, second-class men, third-class men, and fourth-class men. Since they are now creating only men who are less than fourth class, how can they avoid the dangers of a criminal society? Long, long ago, Lord Indra regretted his disrespect to his spiritual master Brihaspati. Similarly, it is advised that the American people regret their mistaken advancement in civilization. They should take advice from the spiritual master, the representative of Krishna. If they do so, they will be happy, and theirs will be an ideal nation to lead the entire world. Om Tat Sat Om Ajnanathimrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Mishna Preshtaya Bhutvadan Prabhu. Welcome. Krishna Chaitanya Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Vamshivadan Prabhu. Welcome. I am a little less energy today. Not doing very great. But reading the shloka has excited me. Ko gridhyet pandito lakshmim. Although I am king of the demigods who are situated in the mode of goodness, I was proud of a little opulence and polluted by false ego. Under the circumstances, who in this world would accept such riches at the risk of falling down? Alas, I condemn my wealth and opulence. These are regretful words of Indra, regretting good quality, retrospectively considering our action and seeing that we have done wrong and then regretting it. It's a type of purification. At least it's good that Indra has understood he has done wrong. First step. And then the next step is, I regret it. I shouldn't have done it. So this is a section wherein Indra, as usual, was busy watching a dance of Rambo, Kilotoma, Menaka and drinking Somarasa and lost to himself and his own gratification. And Brihaspati came, his guru. The demigod's guru stepped inside and he was lost in his whole intoxication and watching the dance and enjoying and gratification. Sense gratification is so absorbing that nobody can disturb you. That's the only moment when you have the maximum focus and concentration. Everything you always wanted to have in life with everything else is available to you during sense gratification. You're so focused. You don't need to be told to focus. It's very amazing. So obviously Indra was focused in his gratification. And Brihaspati stepped in, all for Indra's wrong times. He came at the right time, Brihaspati. And it didn't work out so well because he saw, wow, my disciple is very busy in gratification. And he wouldn't even look at me. This is not very good. So he stepped away, disappeared. And Indra came to know after that Brihaspati has come and he has left. And although Indra tried to search out for him so that I can ask, pardon, he was not available. And this way Indra became very morose. And this is his reflection, that I did a mistake. Today they will wonder, what mistake I did here? I don't know, he came without notice. You got to take my appointment if you want to come. You got to tell me when you're coming. It's not my mistake. Today's world, so what's wrong? He came, he went, so why do you make a big fuss about this? That's how people will talk today. They have a justification and a rationalization for every wrong, uncultured activity with some type of good reasoning according to them. But we are speaking about a highly cultured society, a culture of respect being present there. And we should execute that. And we should not be without feeling remorse about not executing it. The point here is not feeling regret, not feeling remorse. It's a dangerous thing. People rationalize, like I said, and don't feel. So what? So what? It's a very dangerous way to think. In society, I don't have value for cultural setup. You will see that everything is lost. And vanguards of society, people who are leaders, people who are leading human beings, they will always observe these things. They will always observe these things. Krishna told Arjuna, Yad yad acharati sreshta sattate vetarojana. One of the reasons he gave is, people are watching you, they'll do what you're doing. You're leading them, you're a leader, better act carefully. And then he said that even I am doing that. Even I am acting very carefully, although I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the absolute truth. I don't need to bother about anybody. But still, I do that. Name partasi kartavyam trishulokeshu kinchana. I don't have any assigned work for me in all the three worlds together. I am the one who assigns to everybody else. Still I follow. Still I follow. So you also must. So we should follow. And Krishna followed and showed. When Narada came to his assembly, he immediately got down from the throne. He paid respects to Narada. He had him seated, washed his feet, gave him all the respects necessary. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is doing this. He is not saying that it's okay, I'm Lord. I hope you understand. I'm absolute truth. I spoke the Bhagavad Gita and I don't need to do this. That's my teaching to you. We didn't do that. He got down and did it because everybody is watching. You have accountability, responsibility in human society. Even if you are self-realized, even if you're God. Even if you're God. So, one thing, carrying out what we are supposed to. Indra is a leader, a very prominent person, very powerful person also. And he is expected to do certain things. And he knows it and he is regretting it. Similarly, there are certain things that we need to do in human society. We are not living in that society as of then, but at least we are living in the Krishna consciousness movement, in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And people look at us in a certain way. Whether they know or they don't know, if they don't know, they should get to know by how we do it. Right? If they know, all the more the reason that you should do it properly, because they know about it. And they'll check whether you do it or not. So what type of a society are you? They'll gauge you immediately, judge you, and put you in a slot in their head. So sometimes we need to do this. We cannot become prematurely transcendental. There's a saying in America that in the corporate ladder, you got kicked upstairs because of some favors, some good things that you did, everything. You got kicked upstairs. Means you don't deserve the promotion, but you got it. You got a position. Sometimes many of us are kicked upstairs. We may not be in a position where we can get respect from people in the outside world unless you're having a lot of wealth and position and money, mostly money and power, you're not respected. But by joining the Krishna conscious movement, some of us wear saffron cloth, wear kantimala, and exactly are in the position of gurus, so we elicit respect. We got kicked upstairs. Sometimes your qualification may not be befitting the title and the post that you have, may not be commensurate, but still you get respect. Why? People see you. They see you in saffron cloth. They see that you're worth respecting. You should be given respect. So the respect, sometimes you must understand, is for the post. May not be for you. May not be for you. But because we hold that post, and because we represent that culture of Krishna consciousness, you must do it properly. Even sometimes you may think that I am not up to the mark. Still, for the sake of the post, you must do it properly. There are two things here. One is your own internal qualification. Externally, the title that you hold, due to which reason you get respect. You should not conflate these things together. One, you should know you're getting respect for that title. You may not be getting respect for you. Because nobody knows you. Only you know you. Only you know you. Right? So, we should take respect for the title and do the necessary things that is needed in that title. It's a very important thing to know. I am as a sannyasi, wherever I go, people pay me obeisances. And it makes me feel very conscious of myself, sometimes a little embarrassed, especially when senior devotees pay respect. And then sometimes I'm in a conflict as how should I act? Should I also? When I paid obeisances, one Grahastha said, Maharaj, you're a sannyasi, you can't pay obeisances to me. I said, oh, I'm sorry. So what should I do? How should I return something to you? So he told me, you must give siksha. You must tell me about Krishna. That's the title you hold. Your job is not to do the shortcut of paying obeisances to me, he said. Your job is to teach me about Krishna. I was very surprised. It was my early days in sannyas. And he told me, now you don't pay obeisances to me. I am respecting you and you must give me siksha. You must know about Krishna and you must teach me about Krishna. You must correct me and you must help me to go in the right way. So that time I understood what responsibility it is to hold a title. I may feel that I don't think I know so much about Krishna to any. That doesn't matter. You have to deliver. Go find out then. That's your job. If you don't know, go get it done. So one is the title. The next is, because you get respect for the title, you want to move up and fill up that title properly. There's a Shakespearean phrase that says, like a dwarf in king's clothing. I don't know whether you've heard about this. I like that phrase very much. Like a dwarf in king's clothing. Chota fellow. Got a huge robe and a big kiridam on his head and a scepter and he's struggling with that. He's lost inside it. He is lost inside the crown and the robe and everything together. But a very small guy. So sometimes you may have a title. You may be a dwarf for that title. It's very difficult to fill up the whole title. Right? Indra is genuinely regretting from two sides. Both for myself and in terms of my title. I am regretting. So we should not conflate this. One, we should accept the title because it's necessary, it's ordained, it's ordered on you. The next thing is you must live up to the title. That's your internal journey. That's your internal sankalpa. It's easy not to take the title, which means that I don't have to fill it up. You see this thing that happens? I'm just a simple devotee. I'm not a this thing, and you can escape the title. Which actually means that I'm not also going to work to fill up myself within that title. It's not required. These are all the mechanics and the conflicts that happen inside in an organizational setup where your progress in spiritual life is also at stake. Sometimes people think that I don't have to be organizationally relevant or taking any position in that. And sometimes people, I will only focus on myself. But in our society, Prabhupada is talking about the Krishna consciousness movement and the American society. See how he's talking about titles. Talking about the entire Krishna consciousness movement, which is changing people, changing their insides. And he's also speaking about the entire criminality of the American society. Very strong words he uses. Wholesale criminality of American society. He's written this in the Bhagavatam. Finished for American society. Stated like an absolute truth. The wholesale criminality of the American society. And he has done his study very well. Because whatever America does, the whole world does. They follow. Everywhere. Whether it be China, Vietnam, anywhere, everybody wants to do what Americans are doing. We want to do what Americans are doing. We are all doing it. Unbeknownst to us sometimes, we may deny, no, no, I'm not American and all that. Many things we do. We like to do what's the latest thing up there. American society holds the title for whatever is avant-garde, cutting edge, the best of things in material society, in gratification and everything. What they do, they know. They make pioneering inroads into sense gratification of various types. And that's their job. Prabhupada saying is destroying human society. Criminality of human society is perpetrated, pioneered by the Americans. It's a very strong statement made. So whatever they do, Yadyad Achariti Shreshtas Tattate Vetero Jana applies here also. What these guys do, American guys do, what Elon Musk does, whole world wants to do. They want to follow what he does. That's the way it works. One thing is the title and what you do in the title and stand out to people. The other thing is yourself. Prabhupada is saying, although American has done these things in terms of title and gratification externally, it's a hollow society. Human beings have not been produced there. Ideal human beings are not coming out of that society. Very strong statement he makes. And he says, after the Krishna conscious movement has come there, it has started producing ideal human beings in America. What a comparison, bro. American society is hollow, useless, and criminal. And I have come there, the Hare Krishna movement has come there, and Hare Krishna movement is producing ideal human beings for America. This is, so the Krishna conscious movement, it affords internal development of the highest order. And we should take that seriously. One is we should develop internally. The other is we should offer ourselves in title for the sake of the people of this world. These titles, institutions, labels, names are very important for the people outside. Very important. Bhaktisiddhanta Sasi Thakur was sitting in like a Babaji chanting so many thousands of names every day. And he was happy doing it. In the sun, rain or everything. He was in Puri, Jagannath Puri chanting. He was in Navadvip chanting, Mayapur. One fine day, he knew that this is not the way this is going to happen. How will people know if I sit down here and chant for myself? Which I am good at doing. People have to know. He donned sannyasi's robes. He put a tridandi danda in his hands. He took sannyas initiation in front of his guru's picture, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. And then he started preaching like nothing. You know, aggressively he started preaching. He assumed a title. It's necessary to do this, otherwise people don't listen to you. But within that title, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur remained very humble. Very humble. Not that he was in a situation where he had to regret like Indra. He didn't have to regret. He conducted himself very well. And he preached Krishna consciousness. It's not that he didn't face any challenges. It was challenge all along. But he stood his ground, stood his title, did his, expected service, everything paka. So see, great devotee shows that, how to do it. So there are two things that I think is necessary to know. One, the title we have. And we should always know the respect is for the title. And if I am not up to the title, let me live up to the title and bring me up to speed. It doesn't matter as long as you have a sincere desire. Prabhupada gave sannyas to many of the American disciples. He said, live it up to it. Come up to it. It's not that he was looking for perfect sannyasis or anything. He asked people to move up. When we accept these type of responsibilities, then we also move ourselves up internally. It's very important for us to know that. If you're a genuine devotee, then you must do that. You must accept the title. And you must actually live up to it, fill it up. At the same time, in our internal development, I understood another thing. In a Tirupati bureau meeting we had, there was Radhanath Maharaj coming quietly alone, chanting his Japa to the lift. I had just arrived with my luggage and my assistant was standing in front of the lift. Maharaj immediately offered obeisances to me. As I was doing, then I told him, you don't have to obey. And I lifted him like that. He said, I don't have to chant Hare Krishna also. Just gave one answer. I don't have to chant Hare Krishna also. He gave me a powerful answer. I didn't say anything throughout the lift. He was chanting and he was asking me how things going and etc. etc. But what was running in my head was, why did he say I don't have to chant Hare Krishna also? But then I went into the room and then later I understood that he said, seeing another Vaishnava, I want to pay obeisances. I'm not going to be tied up by the fact that I'm senior to you, I'm a senior this person, everything. You're another Vaishnava and I want to pay obeisances. I paid obeisances. Not to your title. You paid obeisances to the Vaishnava. As a senior devotee, maybe I don't have to pay obeisances to the title. But as a Vaishnava to Vaishnava, I like to pay obeisances to you. That's why he said, I don't have to chant Hare Krishna also. If that is the case, I don't have to chant Hare Krishna also. Very profound. So we need to also respect each other as devotees. Apart from the respect that we need to give each other for the titles that each one holds, which other people are watching, so I must do it properly. And not only for that, I must respect that position, like Krishna respected. Daksha didn't want to do that. Daksha also had a problem with titles and conflicts with the internal stuff. Shiva was solid Vaishnava. His Vaishnavism oozes out of himself in his behavior, in his disposition and everything all the time. He just kept quiet because Daksha is lost in titles. He's not very much bothered about the content and the substance. He was thinking, you are just my son-in-law, yaar. I'm your father-in-law. Stand up, respect me. Right? You were thinking, Lord Shiva is such a great devotee. He's very solid in his devotional service to Krishna. He not only found and pointed out that you're disrespecting me, he started all sorts of expletives he used against Shiva. He didn't control himself. And all the time Shiva kept very quiet, peaceful and composed. Because he knew what is happening. He was very solidly situated devotee. The same time when he exceeded the limit, when Daksha crossed the line, when his wife went there, was disrespected. I am disrespected, okay, yaar. Okay. You disrespect my wife also, purposely, because you are not able to hit me with the disrespect that you gave me, and you find that I am not affected. Okay, I'll affect your wife, then you will be affected. So he did that to his own daughter, who was a very toxic person. So Lord Shiva said, okay, now you need it. In a very composed way, he chopped his head off. He's sending his necessary emissary. He chopped his head off. And he was sitting very nicely under a big banyan tree with rishis and sages discussing Krishna. And all the demigods and Daksha with a goat head came and paid obeisances. I'm very sorry we did this. You guys are all kiddish. You devas are all kiddish, childish. I'm not expecting anything great from you guys. So it is necessary to give you one whack. That also I did with cool, composed manner.
Okay.